Welcome to the Manager Lab, where we delve into the increasingly dynamic world of talent management. In each episode, we will unravel key insights, break down the most relevant books and articles, and provide actionable tips to optimize your approach in developing and retaining top talent. Stay tuned for a deep dive into the art, science, and strategy of unlocking your team's full potential. Let's enter the Manager Lab. Managers, welcome back to the laboratory, where we explore the real challenges of leadership and how to navigate them with clarity, courage, and heart. And today we're diving into a powerful article from Harvard Business Review by Ron Carucci, titled "The Emotional Strength You Need to Lead Through Change." If you've ever led a team through uncertainty, whether it's a merger, a reorganization, a new strategy, you know that change doesn't just challenge your plans. It challenges your emotions, your relationships, even your sense of self as a leader. Carucci argues that successful change leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about having the emotional resilience to stay balanced when everything around you feels unsteady. So let's unpack what that means and how you as a manager can strengthen your emotional core to lead through change with confidence and compassion for your people. So Carucci starts with the simple truth. Change is destabilizing. It stirs up uncertainty in you and in everyone around you. And when that happens, leaders often feel pulled between emotional opposites. You might feel the urge to act fast, while also knowing you should slow down and listen. You might want to protect your team's sense of belonging, while also pushing them into uncomfortable new territory. Carucci calls these emotional opposites tensions. And he says that the best leaders don't try to eliminate these tensions. They learn to hold both sides at once. And of course, that reminds me of the old leadership principle. Leadership is about ambiguity management, holding two opposites in your brain and knowing that both can be right at the same time. So this tension balance, that's the heart of emotional strength in leadership. Not pretending the tension isn't there, but learning to tolerate it, learning to manage it, and moving forward in spite of it. So think of it as having a well-tuned emotional center, steady enough to hold competing feelings, flexible enough to adapt as conditions change. All right, so let's look at the 5 tensions to master. He identifies these tensions that every change leader must learn to balance. So let's walk through them one by one. First, there's agency versus ambivalence. So agency is your drive to take decisive action, to lead, to move forward. Whereas ambivalence is your openness to doubt, it's reflection, it's uncertainty. So if you lean too hard on agency, you might push change before people are ready. But if you dwell in ambivalence, you risk paralysis. So healthy leaders can act, but still question their own assumptions. That's agency versus ambivalence. Second, belonging versus disruption. Belonging means preserving connection and psychological safety, while disruption means shaking things up, challenging comfort zones. If you overemphasize belonging, change feels too soft and incremental, perhaps. If you overdo disruption, people feel unsafe and disengaged. So great leaders create safety and stretch at the same time. Third, confidence versus humility. Confidence gives your team stability. It says, hey, we've got this. Humility keeps you learning and open to correction. So too much confidence becomes arrogance, and too much humility becomes indecision. So true leadership can hold both at the same time, conviction and curiosity. Fourth, patience versus impatience. Change takes time. People need to unlearn old habits, perhaps. But it also needs momentum. And without urgency, progress will stall. So leaders need to sense when to press and when to pause. And then finally, the article goes into consistency versus adaptability. Consistency reassures people. It says our values and our purpose have not changed. Whereas adaptability signals that you're paying attention, you're willing to evolve. So too much consistency can breed rigidity. Too much adaptability can breed chaos. So the best leaders know what to anchor and what to adjust. Carucci's message here is clear. You can't solve these tensions. You can only navigate them. They're not problems to fix, but polarities to manage every day in every conversation as you lead your team through change. So, what can you actually do with this? Here are 5 practical takeaways from this article. First, build emotional awareness. Pay attention to what these tensions feel like in your body. Do they make you feel tight? Do they give you racing thoughts? Do they wear you out, give you fatigue? So pause, name what's happening, and take a breath before reacting. Naming the tension often gives you power over it. Second, be transparent about your inner conflicts. It's okay to say to your team, I'm torn between acting quickly here and making sure we've listened enough. When you share that tension, you model vulnerability and authenticity, and that builds trust. Third, recalibrate often. As conditions shift, the balance shifts as well. So what worked last month might not work now. So check in regularly with yourself and with your team. Do we need to speed up here, or do we need to reflect more right now? Fourth, keep the story of change coherent. Help people see how today's actions connect to yesterday's purpose and tomorrow's vision. Change feels less scary when it fits into a meaningful narrative. Love that point. And then fifth, protect your recovery time. Holding tension takes energy. You need moments to decompress. Take walks, do a lot of reflection, have conversations with peers who understand the pressure that you're under. Emotional strength grows in recovery, not in nonstop effort. Okay, so some practical things that you can do this week. Let's make this real. Here are a few things you can try this week from the article. Start your next team meeting with a tension check-in. Ask your team, what tension are we noticing right now as a group? Are we leaning too much toward urgency or too much toward caution? 2, keep a short reflection journal at the end of every day. Jot down what tension showed up today. How did I respond to that tension? When you're making a decision, name the trade-off aloud. Say, hey, we could push harder or pause to learn. Which matters more right now to our team? Be explicit about what will stay consistent, your core values, your mission, and then what's open to change. That clarity keeps people grounded. And then finally, make recovery non-negotiable. Even 15 minutes to just step away, breathe, reset can help you and your team lead from a steadier place. So, in closing, leading change isn't just a test of strategy, it's a test of emotional stamina. Ron Carucci reminds us that strong leaders aren't the ones who never feel torn. They're the ones who can feel the tension, stay steady within it, and keep leading anyway. So as you guide your team through the next wave of change, remember, balance isn't a fixed point. It's something you practice over and over again. Well, thanks for joining me today. If you think this episode resonated with you, and I encourage you to read the full article on Harvard Business Review for deeper insights. And if you found it helpful, share it with another manager who's navigating change as you are right now. They'll thank you for it. And until next time we meet in the Manager Lab, do good work.